The National Investigation Agency has unearthed a treacherous plot to sabotage our One India dream. In a statement to the agency, an alleged Hizbul operative, Irfan Mir, who calls himself an overground worker of the terror outfit, admits that his campaign to galvanize support in favor of Article 370 was sponsored by none other than Pakistan and ISI. As per the NIA, one such instance, Irfan Mir admits that he was paid 1.5 lakh rupees by Shafkat Jatoi, a Pak High Commission official, to organize a seminar to fuel separatist sentiments by defending Article 370. The motive of the ISI bosses was to create a parallel political movement in favor of Article 370 after separatist groups like Hurriyat had lost the trust of the people of Kashmir and had no credibility left. They wanted NGOs to open in Kashmir so that protests can be sponsored in favor of special status that didn't allow Kashmir to truly become a part of the rest of India. An article that in fact instilled divide was supposed to be protected, and in fact Pak ISI was busy hiring overground workers like me to lobby their support for the cause. Let's go across to Pradeep Datta as well as Nikunj Garg joining us for this for more on the story. Pradeep, this is a big development coming in because clearly the names of other political leaders also coming in, but the most important aspect is Pakistan's design. How such seminars are being sponsored by Pakistan for what is very clearly an internal issue as far as India is concerned.
Yes, Madhav, you are absolutely right. In fact, this exposes the anatomy of treachery hatched by Pakistan and inter-service intelligence. If Pakistan is epicenter of terror, then it will not be wrong if we call Pakistan High Commission nerve center of stoking anti-India activity. And here in this case, we have got the disclosure statement of Imran Mir. He is an associate of Hizbul Mujahideen who on several occasions had been to Pakistan. He has stayed in a safe house of inter-service intelligence. And he has also met Imran Khan at his residence in Islamabad. This man was given 1.5 lakh rupees by Shafkat Jatoi from Pakistan High Commission so that he can organize seminar to defend Article 370. That means, one, whatever protests we had been seeing on the streets of Kashmir Valley, these were not spontaneous protests, these were sponsored protests. Second, how Pakistan had been trying to manufacture false narrative by organizing these seminars. Second occasion, they again gave 1 lakh rupees. They wanted that a similar kind of a seminar be organized, where they tried to, in fact, instigate people also and create a false narrative that people in Kashmir Valley, they're totally against the idea of one India. But that was not the reality. When Article 370 was abrogated, we saw that hardly a single person came out on the street. Now, one thing is quite clear, that Pakistan High Commission had been providing money, and this money is coming through Hawala routes, and that is being provided to Hizbul Mujahideen operative. And this man, Imran Mir, he was arrested on January 11, 2019, while he, along with DSP Devinder Singh and Hizbul commander Naveed Babu, they were travelling to Jammu towards the safer hideout. And that was the time when police arrested them on Jammu-Srinagar National Highway. And during interrogation, he has made stunning revelations. One of the revelations is that he had been to Pakistan when he met Sayyid Salahuddin. Then he was taken by inter-service intelligence to the house of Imran Khan. And then he was also brought to Pakistan High Commission, where he was getting money from time to time. And he is the same man who made, in fact, Naveed Babu talk to Wahid Parra, who is of PDP and considered to be close aide of former Chief Minister Mahbooba Mufti. And
well, big developments there coming in fact, at this point of time, Pradeep. But let's also get in a quick word from Nikunj Garg on this, because Nikunj, this is very, very significant. It not just indicates the plot as far as Pakistan is concerned, but also shows us who really is working in tandem with them, not just the separatist or the terrorist elements, but also certain individuals and those who are associated with mainstream political parties.
Well, Madhav, yes, and this also exposes, Pradeep's exclusive story also exposes why India has downgraded its diplomatic ties with Pakistan to at least 2 notches below what it usually has been at the level of an ambassador, which is a secretary level officer to the government of India, to charge d'affaires kind of an arrangement, which is a joint secretary level officer. So quite clearly, because the Pakistan High Commission was directly meddling in the internal affairs, apart from what has been India's usual complaint for close to 3 decades now of financing terror from Indian soil. In the case of abrogation of Article 370 and anti-CAA protests, Pakistan High Commission quite clearly has been directly meddling into what India's internal affairs have been and financing individuals to organize some kind of what appears to be organic but is quite clearly sponsored protest on the street and indulge in some kind of intellectual activity by organizing seminars, etc., etc., just to show that there is an intellectual resistance coming in coming in the way of the government's move of abrogation of Article 370 or enacting the CAA law. Whether the laws are good or bad, that is completely an internal dimension of India's politics. India's parliament is completely competent, but Pakistan quite clearly wanting to fish in troubled waters at all times is financing that as well. Another critical aspect is that these operatives, their level in the Pakistani civil society, their enmeshment in the Pakistani society to the level which they have ingratiated themselves to their civil core,
right,
is reflected from the fact that Pradeep says that this individual has even met the Pakistani Prime Minister himself. So
Absolutely.
you can imagine the level of saboteur behavior that is coming from the Pakistani establishment.
Well, absolutely. That's the kind of backing that exists as far as such elements are concerned. But I want to quickly get in a word from Pranesh, who's also with us. Pranesh, I believe you have more details with you. Go ahead.
I have the exclusive document that Pradeep Datta has managed to access. This is the disclosure statement which is part of the NIA charge sheet about this man who says that he was taken to meet Pakistan Prime Minister Imran Khan and looked at the details. On directions of Hizbul, I started working as overground worker for militants. Then he says ISI officials directed me to register an NGO and join the political stream. The money was pumped in by the Pakistan High Commission in the national capital. The ISI wanted parallel political movement since Kashmir did not rely on Hurriyat. ISI officials promised to pump money into my NGO for the freedom of Kashmir. So this was a deep-rooted conspiracy which is detailed in this disclosure, and also the deep ties of the Pakistan deep state with the 370 lobby in India, Madhav.
Well, absolutely shocking state of affairs. Stay with us because the BJP has lashed out at Gupkar and company and has claimed vindication.
गुपकार गैंग से पूछना चाहता हूं, जो भी इसके रिलेटेड पार्टियां हैं, क्या वो उसी इशारे पर काम कर रही हैं? ऐसा ही लगता है कि पाकिस्तान का पैसा जो कहीं ना कहीं इनके पास भी जा रहा है, जिसके कारण से ये लगातार धारा 370 को लेकर के वहां माहौल खराब करने की कोशिश करते हैं और जो सेमिनार द्वारा आयोजित किए जाते हैं वो इनकी ही चाल है।
जो बोली एनसी, कांग्रेस और पीडीपी बोलती है, जिनकी तारें पाकिस्तान से हिलती हैं और 370 के बाद जो उनके बयान आए, सचमुच में यही लगता है कि ये पाकिस्तान के बड़े दुलारे और प्यारे चहेते हिंदुस्तान के अंदर बैठे हैं, जो पाकिस्तान का साथ हिंदुस्तान में बैठ के देते हैं।
All right, let's take this across to our guest. Joining us with us is Tom Vadakan, spokesperson of the BJP. Also joining us on the broadcast is Sajjad Tariq, leader of the Congress. But I first want to go across to Iftikhar Misgar. Iftikhar Misgar, these are some very, very serious charges that are coming out, or allegations that are coming out from the disclosure statement. Sure, it's not a charge sheet. There is no court that has given its judgment. But this is a very serious proposition, sir. How Pakistan is actually giving money to those who want to organize seminars and funding as much as 1.5 lakh rupees to those who want to fund seminars against Article 370, direct interference in what is very clearly an issue that is internal to India, and that's their clear design to spread trouble that is seen over here.
See, Madhav, this is indeed, this is highly condemnable if the neighboring country is interfering in the internal matters of the countries. It's unacceptable. But at the same time, we have to see the other aspect of the story. See, as I was listening from some of your giving the story on this, the person has been arrested somewhere in between year 2019, and now the things are coming like this has happened and that has happened. If now there is something like question mark arising here. If government is changing the narrative that if PDP or National Conference or any other political party is fighting for the restoration of 370 article and government feels somewhere that they cannot defend it in the Supreme Court.
Sir, Supreme Court will hear the matter. That is separate. The fact is that when it happened a few weeks ago, you said this is linked to politics. Now when it is happening again, you are saying this is political in nature. Now this is a course of an investigation. The NIA does not report or is not part of any political party, sir.
So if it is the matter of investigation, we should not come into the conclusion. And the conclusion definitely will be that they must come fair in the investigation. If they'll not come fair, they must face the same heat.
Let me bring in. In fact, let me bring in other panelists. In fact, Tom Varakan, quick response from you to what Iftikhar Misgar is saying.
Well, we are not talking about the final judgment, but this is an investigative process and the information that is available in public domain. This is a confession from Irfan Shafi, who is an operative and who said that he has met the powers that be in Pakistan and that he was funded for seminars in India on 370. The point here is the connection with Wahidul-ur-Rahman, PDP youth leader. Now, these are connections, these are not accidental connections, my friend. These are connections that are there and have been there. It's just that the gloves are out. Now it is coming into public domain. Because before that, all this was happening. Yes, now that the Pakistani hand is clear and the connectivity with the powers that are, or the dynasts who exist in Jammu and Kashmir and their interests, where they lie and what their intentions are, is clearly evident. Now, I think this is not a question of whether the procedure comes in the legal domain, when will the verdict come. I think this is very clearly... Let me
bring in a word from Sajjad Tariq as well. Sajjad Tariq, yes, while the process is currently on, the investigation is currently on, these are charges which are very serious. And the charges are also not just of anyone else, but those members of mainstream political parties, such as Mr. Para, who Mr. Tom Varakan is just referring to, about how he allegedly was getting money directly from Hizbul commander. This is a very, very serious charge.
You see, I'll tell you, as far as Pakistan is concerned, this has been right from the starting. Pakistan has created problems in Kashmir. As far as you talk of local people who are involved into it, I'm not certain about it. Let the agencies find out what has been, from where the money has come and what is the moment. But one thing I'll tell you, the people of J&K, we rejected Pakistan and we accepted India because we had that nationalist feeling in our hearts. If 1, 2 or 3 out of 1.25 lakh people, one political person or one individual person is involved in any of the incident, we cannot cover it up with the rest of the blanket like that.
All right. I'm very glad that you say that. I'll request you to stay with us, though we have to slip into a quick break. Request all you gentlemen to stay with us.